Good afternoon, participants. On behalf of Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, LNCPE, and Dr. G. Kishore sir, Principal, I, Dr. Sanjeev S. Patil, privileged to welcome you all this. We have a special guest, Dr. Mahendra Sawant, Associate Professor, and he is a special speaker of this session. In this session, we have other panelists, Shri Sujit sir. He is a CEO for this 365 program, and he is a coordinator for this program, as well as we have another a resource person as a panelist, Dr. Lamlun Buhril, the Associate Professor in the Authority of India, Lakshmi Bai National College of Physical Education. Sir, I welcome you all for this session. Dr. Mahendra Sawant sir, he is a PhD holder, license officer, and in charge of his language in Hindi in Sports Authority of India, Trivandrum. He is a certified yoga and presented many papers in reputed national and international conferences. And he is also a PhD thesis evaluator. He has 24 years of experience related to PhD and a physical education subject. Today he is going to give his opinion on this session's topic. So on behalf of SAI LNCPE, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and on behalf of respected Dr. G. Kishore sir, I welcome you, sir. I request all the participants to pay attention for his valuable expert opinion. Now over to Dr. Sawant sir. Please, sir.
Dr. Sanjeev Patil, my colleague, my friend. A very good afternoon, all the participants on this auspicious occasion of community coaching program. This is a very excellent step in the field of sports and physical education by our Union Ministry, Honorable Kiran Rijuji sir, as well as Honorable Director General of Sports Authority of India, Sri Sandeep Pradhan sir, as well as Principal and Director of SAI Kerala Region, Sports Authority of India LNCPE, Dr. G. Kishore, my friend, my colleague, Sri Sujit Panigraha sir, Dr. Usha Nair, and all Dr. Sanjeev Patil, as well as Dr. Lamlun Buhril. Thank you very much for me to share very much. My today's topic is creativity in physical education and sports. Friends, there is actually every human being must think at high level. Even is family by support, by economically everything, but thinking must be a very high, and there should be high target in our life. In life, there are so many challenges. Our country, by our people, by our due to we think how the best way we can and that is why we should create something new. We should be able to create something new, which is really miraculous, beneficial for the society, and it should be something different to prepare children to be wonderful citizens in future, in coming days for our country. Creativity in physical education and sports, I think this is non-stop subject. Every individual is a student till the last day of his service retirement in this coaching, sports, physical education profession. Everybody is learning and everybody has to learn, everybody has to improve. Then it is we can enjoy our profession being a successful professionalist, successful sports person, successful human being, successful member of the family, successful citizen of the country. It is impossible to live pleasurable without living wisely, well, and justly, and impossible to live wisely, well, and justly without living pleasurably. Wonderful. This has been quoted by one of the most famous author. So this is, it is impossible to live pleasurably. Now we want to live pleasurably, but every time, every moment there are challenges. We have to struggle in life. We have to accept the challenge and we have to gain. And if we want to drink water, we should dig the well first. And then that is possible. We can enjoy the drop of real water of life. So this is also, it is not possible. It's not so easy, but everything is possible if we have a great effort in our life. Creativity is man-made. It's not by God made. God is with us. God's blessings are with us. But we should do some movement. We should do some positive movement to achieve something for our life, for our better life, for our successful life. And that is why creativity is a man-made. So we should be practical. We should not be just simply हो जाएगा, सब कुछ आसान हो जाएगा. Simply saying is very easy, but when we do hard work, then we can realize the butter of the particular milk. Creative and innovative ideas applicable in your programs as a physical education teacher will not happen by chance. Sometimes many physical education teachers, many sports professionals are confused. This will be possible or not, or how it is possible, whether it will be successful idea or not, whether this idea is correct or not. But if we have a broad thinking, if we have positive thinking, and if we do some effort, definitely that idea might be a successful one. So creative and innovative ideas applicable in your programs as a physical education teacher will not happen by chance. So physical education subject, physical education profession, what it was previous, today is not like that. Today is purely scientific. Physical education teacher's role is purely scientific. This profession became a purely an important part of our education life as well as general life. Involve staff, children and parents in school physical education programs. Now, physical education teacher, simply it was not a matter of cup of tea while doing his job previous day, but now he should be a very dynamic, he should be updating his knowledge timely, he should be having skill of communication, he should know the his involvement in practical way with the staff, with the students, children, with the parents. He should be able to win the opinion, win the mind of child, student, staff, parent, how the best way he can make it communicative that physical education is more beneficial for mental development, for physical development, for emotional development, for social development, and it is a wonderful way to become a good citizen of the country, to prepare oneself for the country, to prepare oneself to respect the country, to prepare oneself in making our country more and more stronger. That is why every individual must go through this. This is the actually base and foundation of sports profession. This is called physical education. Imbibe the right attitude and approach needed to positively contribute in community fitness program. And now there is a need for the country, for the society, for us, that community must be healthy, must be physically fit, must be positive thinking, must be having a broad thinking, must be having morals for the nation, must be having respect for the nation. And that is why such skills can be imbibed through physical education for the right attitude. So attitude we must develop in right way, and our approach should be positive. It is needed to positively contribute in community fitness program. So we can develop community fitness program. How to develop community fitness program? We can, during free time, we can go, we can interact with the people, we can interact with the students. For example, slum, those students are in slum areas. We can go, we can interact with them, we can be friendly with them and imbibe the knowledge about sports, physical education, movement education, some of the games, some of the simple games, which is less expensive games, and we can donate something for the society, those who are surviving in slum areas, and that we can win their faith, we can win their attitude, we can change them to bring towards the recreational sports, to bring towards the some of the sports activities which is less expensive. And we can, unless we interact, unless we communicate, unless we win their faith, they will not attract towards the physical education program. And this is today's great need for the country, for the society, for everyone, that community fitness. One more benefit due to community fitness is we can make this as a tool of a preventive from some of the communicable and non-communicable disease. So preventive method, physical education program to be utilized as a preventive measure. And that is why, जैसे कोई अगर कोई बीमारी आने से पहले अगर हमारी जो इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम है, इम्यून सिस्टम है, इम्यूनिटी को अगर शरीर की इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाई जाए, तो वो खेल कूद और शारीरिक शिक्षा के जरिए ही बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत अच्छी तरह से, अच्छे ढंग से बढ़ाया जा सकता है। और उसके लिए शरीर मन जो है इनका जो है तालमेल बनाने के लिए शारीरिक शिक्षा, फिजिकल एक्सरसाइजेस, ये संभव है जब हम फिजिकल एजुकेशन में पूरी तरह से इन्वॉल्व रहोगे. So that is why we should be involved fully, and we should conduct some awareness program for the community level. That fitness program, because of fitness program we can burst the stress. Because of this fitness program we can improve our health. Because of this fitness program we can develop the team spirit. Because of fitness program we can achieve the happiness, we can achieve the health, we can achieve the positive thinking, we can develop ourselves in better way, we can bust stress, we can give up a lot of negative thoughts. This is because of possible when we approach to the community fitness programs in the society. Introducing the concept of plugging as part of fitness program initiatives. Wonderful. This plugging is a very enthusiastic activity. You know, we should nowadays we are so much worrying about our Swachhata Abhiyan. It is our Honorable Prime Minister's dream for our country that Swachhata Abhiyan to be organized from home to Gali Mohalla to the campus to the every village, and for every religion should be involved for Swachhata Abhiyan. So cleanliness drive, this is one of the most important, most wonderful task we have been drive throughout the country. We have been organizing throughout the country, throughout every state, every city, every Gali Mohalla, and that every people they involve. And it is a dream of our country that one day our country should be standing shoulder to shoulder to rest of countries in the development of not only information technology, not only sports profession, but the cleaning process, because of to be away from some of the disease which is coming through the atmosphere, to the communicable and non-communicable disease. So cleanliness drive is very, very important for our best health. Meaning and needs of creativity in physical education and sports. See, creativity, if we think, it is really a very interesting topic. We should be able to create. What is going on आज जो हो रहा है वही कल होगा, ऐसा नहीं है. हमने कुछ जो है हर चीज को एक नया अनुसंधान के रूप में उसको स्वीकार करना है. एक नई चीज, न्यू थिंग, यह कब संभव है? जब तक हम नए चीज को किसी अलग तरीके से उसको आकार देकर उसका एक अभ्यास करके, भाई इससे यह संभव है क्या. यही हुआ जब मानव चांद पर जब मानव ने पहला कदम रखा, तब पता चला कि हम यह कर सकते हैं. तो it is possible that something new invention, something new creativity that is also related to physical education sports profession, that creativity is it is an essential part of human being to develop new thing and to go ahead in the comparison of rest of countries development in all the areas, all the fields like information technology, sports, physical education, health, and there are many things that there we can develop ourselves. That is where creativity is required. What is creativity in physical education sport? Why is creativity essential and needed in physical education sports? Creativity, it is thinking, the use of imagination or original ideas to create something new. So thinking, we should think positively. Always it is common for that we are generally using think positively, yaar. Don't think negatively. Okay, but thinking positive is more beneficial than compared to negatively. Negative is, there is no actually there is no proper result comes through negative. But the positive thinking, there is always we can achieve the good trends, we can achieve certain new invention, we can achieve something new. The use of imagination or original ideas to create something. So use of imagination, what is in your mind? What is in your mind? That is actually imagination. That is why a human being is most intelligent on the earth compared to all the whatever the animal beings or whatever surviving on the earth. So human being is using his brain through imagination. अगर ये चीज करना है, अगर ये हो सकता है, तो वो क्यों नहीं हो सकता? Question. And one question comes, that is the beginning of imagination, that is the beginning of creativity. That is why जो idea है, original ideas to create something. So जो idea है, what ideas we have developed, that should be begin with creativity or create something new thing. Balancing situation, solving a problem in a new but effective way. There are always challenges come in life. No person, even respected Anil Ambani sir also was not comfortable about his what is this development of his industries and all. He is thinking a very broad way about how the best way this product can be developed, and how in the market the best way in less expense for our country people, less expensive way it can be utilized, it can be demanded by the people. So there should be, if problem comes, solution must be there and must be find out. So situation solving a problem in a new but effective way, but that should be in effective way. So some people still, suppose some businessman, if they have sudden they put their ideas, their effort in particular business, and if they achieve tremendous loss, immediately they used to get heart fail, they may go for suicide, they are doing suicide. This is something happens in the big businessman in their business profession. But in the field of education and sport education and physical education, what happens when we think for broadly, for this is the actually problem we are facing for development of physical education activity, we should think positively and it should be conducted in most effective way. Confidence, we must develop confidence. Confidence is very, very important to become, to develop a wonderful personality. Less confident man cannot achieve beyond his expectation. So confidence must be complete man. To become a complete man or full, to develop full confidence, you should be having broad thinking and positive thinking. Confidence to take risk and ignoring doubt and facing fears. Risk is a wonderful. Stress management, we should have, stress is good. Stress is also risky, but some stress is always good for the development of personality, human being. So to take a risk and ignoring doubt and facing fears. We should be able to face the fears. This is possible because of when we think positively. Why is creativity essential and needed in physical education and sports? Manpower or staff or personnel, equipment and facilities, funding, number of allotted classes, no clear out syllabus. These are the things actually, these are the challenge in our life. But we should not complain. We should take it a very easy way, positive way, that manpower, if either less or more, we should be able to communicate, we should be able to manage. Equipment and facilities, whatever the less equipment, less facilities available, we should be able to organize the program for the children, for the students, for the people. In less equipments, more recreative, more enjoyable, more creative. Funding is very sensitive point, very sensitive part of physical education program. If funding is less, we should not become nervous. We should have some kind of ideas. We can also develop sponsorship for, suppose you are conducting some physical education program, and sponsor through the good, we can say through good sponsorship, we can develop our program more. And whatever the number of classes you allotted, you should be able to manage. And syllabus, you should go according to syllabus. You should be able to manage the syllabus, your classes, physical education classes, general subject classes. You should not make injustice to the syllabus, that because of this physical education program I could not able to complete my Hindi subject syllabus or mathematics subject syllabus, or this nothing. There should be a balance to be maintained, and such creativity must be developed by physical education teacher. Setting your professional philosophy right. To have a winning team, winning philosophy. You must have a philosophy. Develop your philosophy that yes, today or tomorrow we should win. I can do it. I can do it. I can win, and my team can win. My children, my students, they will definitely win one day. Even they are losing in basketball tournament, they are losing in kho-kho tournament, kabaddi tournament, but one day they will win. They will develop the name and fame of our school or college. To help young people have fun. Now young generation, nowadays this information technology, young generation, they have a lot of challenges in their life. Some people, they do not know. But if they involve in physical education, health and fitness and sports program, definitely they can think broadly. They can develop their mentality in positive way. And that is why help them. Physical education teachers' first duty, not only to develop creativity for the students, but he must be able to develop creativity for the general man, general people, common people in the society. To help young people develop physically, psychologically, and socially, developmental philosophy. This is actually psychologically means many people, they do not use their mentality in proper way. They, because of it's called overconfidence. They think that yeah, physical education program we are doing, people are taking part, they will come regularly and they will be involved in this program. No, your communication, your proper guidance to your children, proper guidance to your students, proper guidance to the players prior to the tournament, during the tournament, after the tournament, and during the training schedule. There should be time bound. You should be involved. You should be able to psychologically give them as part of, suppose you are giving them meditation, it is a part of yogic training. If you are giving them physical conditioning training, it is a part of their fitness. They should do properly, and that is why you can prepare them psychologically to be very fit, very efficient, to develop their skill, to develop their mentality, to develop their physical fitness, and physically, psychologically, and socially, they should be able to become absolutely fit in the physical education profession. Like that, you set a goal. Steps to be creative physical education teacher. There are certain steps. It must be creative to become a good physical education teacher. There are physical education teachers, physical education class is going on the ground and a person sitting on the chair and sleeping. Is this, can we develop such physical education teachers mentality? No. Can we develop creativity among such physical education teachers? No. Those days have gone. वो दिन चले गए. अभी फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर जो है हमारे देश में वो बिल्कुल विज्ञान के तरीके से है उसमें, और जो वैज्ञानिक है, जो साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी इंफॉर्मेशन में जो वैज्ञानिक लोग काम करते हैं उनमें ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है, क्योंकि फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर शुड बी कीपिंग अ साइंटिफिक नॉलेज टू डिलीवर his goods to an individual player, boy, student to develop fantastic personality to face the challenges on the ground, in the tournament, after the tournament, in his individual life, to prepare him to become a best citizen of the country. And that is why you must have a planning and preparing for your classes. Physical education teacher must have to play an important role on the ground as well as inside the classroom, as well as inside the premises of the school, colleges, universities. That he must be a very updating his knowledge. Excuse me, Sujit sir. Sujit sir. Yes. Sawant has so this is so these are the steps: planning and preparing for classes. Physical education teacher must have a plan how to prepare his classes on the ground and in teaching subjects in the premises building or coaching class for the sports tournaments. He should keep always record in his diaries. He should maintain the diaries. And that is why due to this uh, record maintaining this habit, he can find out his mistakes. He can find out his where he's actually exactly lacking. Uh, Further, I'll hand over to Dr. Lamlun Buhril. He will be talking. Yeah, he will be talking the next. He will be discussing about the next slide. Planning and preparing for classes.
Lamlun sir, you have to unmute.
Please don't. I'll come there.
Yeah.
Sorry, participant, there is slight technical issue.
Yes.
So just for
Sorry.
Hello.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay. What we want?
Sir, we are expecting your expert opinion on the slide also, please.
Sir, you take it forward, sir. Conversation from here.
Sir.
Let us go to this one. Okay. A
Yeah.
symptom of creative physical education teachers. Here, so what we are going to talk about a symptom of creative physical education teachers with this current pandemic, COVID-19 situation coming up. I think everyone, all the participants will be more familiar with the word symptom. Here, why the word symptom is used as a creative physical education teacher is just to understand the quality that is required to be a good and creative physical education teacher. Now, to be a creative physical education teacher in the school premises, there are three important things which is very, very important. The first one is, we call it popularity for the right reason within the school premises. So the question is, how can you be popular in the school premises, in the school campus you're working? We have suggested three things. One is how you carry yourself. When we talk about how you carry yourself, as a physical education teachers, remember you are expected to be an example of health and fitness personified, right? You have to prove to yourself that just by looking at you, also your health, your fitness, just by showing how you carry yourself, how you project yourself, people should be able to know that you are good enough for that one. And second thing that is important is your attire or your fashion selection. When we talk about fashion selection, as a physical education teacher, often it is very, very important to be concerned with what is going on in around the world. What is the present types of fashion? And so many times as a physical education teachers, the problem we have is we have this tendency to be just feeling comfortable with sports dress. This, I want to stress, this is not right. What, as a physical education teachers, if you want to be popular for the right reason in the school premises, a very important point you have to remember is when it comes to fashion, you have to be very good in feeling comfortable with your sports attire, sport dress. Not only that, when it is required, you also have to look comfortable with this casual dress. Here, when I talk about casual dress, please do remember, I did not mean to say that those torn jeans and those padded jeans as a teacher, not that one, but at least you try to be aware what is going on around in the community, and at least decent casual dress also you have to be comfortable. And last but the least in this fashion selection is, as a physical education teacher, it is also very, very important to be comfortable with a formal dress. There are so many situations in school where you have to dress in a formal attire, right? Sometimes a school annual day, or sometimes some particular important programs or VIP visit. In such a situation, physical education don't restrict yourself dressing just on your sports dress only. You just, sometime you come up with some good, beautiful formal dress so that, in other words, I want you to be versatile in this one. You have to be comfortable with sport dress, you have to be comfortable with casual dress, and at the same time, you have to be comfortable with formal dress. And just by wearing sometime occasionally, you're not going to feel comfortable. You have to wear this sort of dress, especially formal dress oftenly. How to wear a tie, you have to be comfortable with ties. And one more thing very important is your social skill matters. Physical education teachers are expected to be extrovert in nature. You have to be, your social skills have to be, above average than others. It have to be good. Otherwise, people will, if you started looking at just as a disciplinarian, then people will just be afraid of you. It is always better to be respected than being feared. So if you can fulfill these three important qualities in you, then popularity for the right reason in the school premises to a great extent, or I can almost say 70 to 80%, you'll be able to fulfill this popularity in the school premises. After all, who don't want to be popular? And the second one is, the best way to check your quality as a physical education teacher is a big queue during PTA meeting, parents-teacher meeting, which is very common, and this is the only short time in the school. If you are doing very good as a physical education teachers, rest assured, in front of your room, in front of your department, you'll find a lot of parents lining up, queuing up to meet you. Because as a parent, I also know if my sons or daughter talks very well or good about their physical education teachers or even their maths teacher, whenever there's a PTA meeting, I make sure that I'll be talking to them. So one good identity of a creative physical education teacher is a big queue, a good number of queue waiting to meet you outside during the PTA meeting. And the third one, Indian reality, no fan, no sports. What I mean to say here is, in India, if you look at the present situation, what is the new reality in sports? The new reality in sports is playing in empty stadium, right? This is the new reality in sports. But will it happen in India? That is always a question that have to be asked. Because if you just look at the German Bundesliga, for example, or A Series in Italy, or even La Liga in Spain, they starting their own football league. Now, they don't mind playing in the empty stadiums. But in India, even our so-called IPL, we are still in the process of thinking whether to start it or not. Indian, here, take away point here is Indian reality, no fun, no sports. What I want to stress here is, in India, since we are Indians and will be forever Indians, let us remember one thing. As a physical education teachers also, until unless you are able to develop your fan base, until unless through your sheer hard work, through your effort in school, or through your hard work, if you cannot have a sufficient fans or sufficient followers, in other words, among the student, among the parents, among the staff, then as a physical education teacher, it is going to be very difficult to be popular. And we just in the next point, I just would like to talk on this, how to engage staff and parents in your physical education programs. How to engage staff and parents in your physical education programs. We'll be discussing on two important aspects here. The one is work visibility, and second one is finding out on the right moment. Let me add one more thing here. The thing I would like to add here is, we are going to keep children aside, and we're going to, on this particular presentations, now for the next 1-2 presentation, we're going to concentrate on staff and parents, because they are very important stakeholders for the popularity and for the upliftment of physical education in sports. The reason is, as long as you influence, as long as you can convince the staff and parents, then the school authorities surely going to notice your efforts, and then your future project will be smoother. Now, the first one is work visibility. Only when you are able to prove yourself or your identity in the school setup, only when you are able to prove your identity in the school setup, then let me tell you, then only you'll be able to sell your ideas. What I mean by selling ideas is, so many times a new physical education teachers, they'll work in school, they said they want to do so many things, but it never happened. Let me make it very clear, it is not easy to be visible in the campus where thousands, 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 people are put together. So work visibility is going to come very slowly, and once your visibility comes, then you'll be able to sell your new ideas, your creative ideas, your innovative ideas to the school administration. Then only things are going to move as you have planned. Now, when we talk about work visibility, how can you be visible in the school premises? How can people notice you? How can you be popular? This is the question. We have listed two things, don'ts and do's. In the don'ts, if you look at your slide, we have listed two things. One is professional narcissists, and second one is inferiority complex. When you talk about professional narcissists, I hope Most of you are were aware about this, the Greek stories about Narcissus, who keep on admiring only himself and can stay near the pond under the tree the whole day. As a professional, as a physical education teachers, my sincere advice is don't try to be such type of people. Just always telling that physical education is the best, this, it helped the health, it helped this. Don't, don't have that sort of narrow mentality. As a physical education is, you have to say that other subjects are also important. Arts teacher is important, maths teacher is important, social science, all these other subjects are important. At the same time, physical education is so important. Physical education is also a part and parcel of the total curriculum. And second mistakes that physical education is usually have is inferiority complex. When I said inferiority complex, no one will be willing to accept that we have inferiority complex. But one simple example let me give. If there's a common teacher's common room, and if your visit to teacher's common room is not frequent, in other words, if you hardly drop into a teacher common room, this is one symptom or one sign of inferiority complex. As a teachers, you are not supposed to behave like that. As a teachers, you're supposed to feel equal with other teachers, and then that no one can keep on telling you you are equal to other teachers unless you change your mental setup and feel that you are just like any other teachers. Then only your inferiority complex can be improved only by you. On the other side, I put do's for physical education teachers. As a physical education teachers, please follow these three important things. One is, please stay updated in terms of knowledge. And one good example I'll give you. Every school have a good library setup. Please visit your library occasionally, or if possible frequently. Then no one will be able to doubt your knowledge. The more and usually all those students, even those students and teachers you find near in the library vicinity are usually the good teachers or the good students. So one good way is, beside updating yourself, try to go and borrow some books, some useful books from library, or go and spend your free times in library. Then the way people look at you, the way other staff or other students look at you will be slightly changed. And second one is, trust your instinct. Always remember that you are a good physical education teachers. Trust your instinct. You be confident in your knowledge. Confidence in their knowledge does not mean don't learn anything anymore, right? You have to keep on updating, like I discussed before. Keep updating yourself, and once you feel that you are updated your knowledge, be very confident. Try to prove that you are the best always. And last but not the least here is, love your job. You have to love your job. Unless you love your job, staying updated is not going to be possible. Trusting your instinct is never going to happen. And then beside the main topic we talk about, creativity, unless you love your job, it is going to go out of the windows. So make sure that you love your job. Then when it comes to dealing with or influencing or getting a good name among the staff and parents, one thing you have to look around is finding the right moment. What is the right moment? The right moment here, if you just see in the slide, it is written sports day. Sport day is one important right moment to sign as a physical education teachers, to be accepted by the staff and the parents. If you ask me why, because this is the time where you really can get with a good planning and with a good preparation. This is the time where you'll be able to take in the resource and take in the input of this staff, and parents. And when you are organizing a sports day, because in school, I remember some of the school will be having 3 days sports day, some will be having 2 days, some will be having 1 day. Let me take that example as 1 day sports day. In 1 day sports day, if your total program is going to be, let's say, 4 hours, let it be, for the sake of publicity also, please ensure at least 1 hour or a quarter of the time is spent for staff and parents. What you're going to do, you're going to settle a very good competition, organize it in a very good way, publicize it, right? Select the right activities, plan, prepare it, and last but not the least, make sure that you'll be having a very important, a very decorative closing ceremony for them. Let it be a prize distribution also. Just as you put the prizes for children, make sure that when on sports day, if you have a program for staff and parents, make sure that you are going to have a same trophy or a prizes for parents. And this way, this is one way of developing your identity. And second, it is also a very good publicity as a physical education teachers. So finding the right moment, my first advice is other opportunity also will come, but do give a lot of importance on the sports day. And when we talk about plugging as part of physical education program, plugging, if I'm just slightly going to go to the history of what is plugging. Plugging is a venture or a scheme started in Sweden way back in 2016. In 2016, what happened when the Swedish government started realizing their country is partly, though it is a very clean country, they started finding a lot of litters, plastic waste in around the countryside. So they started coming up with a new scheme, what they call plugging. In plugging, they started motivating those morning workers or morning joggers to put some effort to help them clean the country. Then this concept kept on growing, and by 2018, it became very, very popular throughout the country. And in India also, we started picking up this concept, and schools, colleges, and university, and even a lot of community takes a lot of effort in this one. If you just look at the slide, then there's a picture of a current sports minister collecting litters. This is what we call plugging. Now, coming back to physical education program, how you are going to use this plugging into your program, how you are going to develop this concept into the program. We have listed 3 important points here. Before coming to these 3 important points, let me touch on one point that is not written. You must be well aware about the words, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. When we said about charity begins at home, what I mean to tell is, as a physical education teachers, when we talk about plugging, we are talking about this community service, cleaning the environment, helping the environment. More or less, it is about voluntary efforts. And when you're going to work for, when you are going to venture into this voluntary effort, unless you convince yourself that you can contribute something for the welfare of the society, it is not going to happen. So the first thing, if you want to use this plugging concept in physical education program, make sure that you first believe in the values and in the concept. Then once you believe in the concept, then you can start developing for the school program. Just like the first one, you can start using plugging as a 5-minute starting activity once a week. Here, remember, don't just try to use your class for cleaning the colleges or the school vicinity, because children will started running away from the next class. Not like that. Just use them for 5 minutes or you just encourage them in such a way, okay, boys and girls, today we are going for plowing, for this concept is this concept is this. You try to make them understand. Then once they understand, let's go for 5 minutes without missing the activity class. Then 5 minutes actively everyone will work. And based on the result of your 5 minutes effort, then if it give a very good dividends, if it give a very good result, the next stage you make plowing one period activity once a month. In 1 month or in 2 months time, one time plowing activities you try to edit. Take around your children in the school campus, near the building, all these things, ask them to clean the litters, all this. And then not only cleaning the areas, it is going to give a very great impression. If it is your effort, it is going to give a very good impression to the administration. And once you work out the first one well and the second one well, then you can plan for the third one. The third one is trying to involve the entire school for cleaning the campus, maybe once in 3 months or once in 6 months. This is how plowing concept can be utilized in physical education program. And one important point here is, I will go to the arts of problem solving. As a physical education teachers or any individual, we are bound to come up with problems. Problem is everywhere. Even if you are the most creative person or the most creative physical education teachers, you are going to face this one problem or the other is surely going to come up. Even as a father or as a mother at home, problem is going to come up. Even in the school situation, in the school setup, problem is going to come up. And as a human being problem, we are bound to face it. Now, how do you solve this problem? How can you overcome these problems? There's a very simple method. When you talk about problem solving, think about this particular word, idea, I-D-E-A. And if you remember these 4 words in a sequential order, then I think it is really going to help you solve a lot of problems. The first one, I stand for identifying the problems. Until unless you're very clear what is the problem, what are the main cause of the problem, then looking for a solution is not going to happen. So the first thing I have to do is identify the problems, what are the main cause of that problems. And once you identify the problems, go to the second alphabet, that is D. That is D stand for developing a list of solutions. Try to list down what the possible solution. And when you started listing out the possible solution, then out of all the listed solution, you will be looking back into it. And your second stage of problem solving is just listing down the solution. When you list down the solution, just don't look only one solution. Try to list as many as possible. To solve one problem, there's no harm in even listing 5 or 10 or even 15 solutions which come to your mind. Obviously, this will involve a little bit of sitting and concentrating on the problems. And once you have listed your solution, the third one comes E, evaluate your solution. This is picking up what will be the best solution. Like I said, you might have 15 solutions in hands, and if you sincerely or seriously go through it, maybe there's a possibly 5 good things you have listed, and you try out these 5 good things, 5 solutions to solve that problems. Or even you select one, arrange it in a priority orders. First important, second important. First try the plan 1, plan B, plan C like this. Then you started solving the problems, and then next one, what you're going to do is, once you started working on the solution, once you evaluate the solution, check out if your solution work. That is what A stand for. A is analyze how well your plan work, right? Analyze, and let me tell you, if it did not work out, if this 4 step cannot solve your problems, what do you have to do? The next option is start from the beginning again. Use the word idea again, IDEA again. First round you do not solve, go for second round. I'm very sure whatever problem you face, if you seriously look into it, use your creativity or use your innovative solution, I'm very sure by second or third round, most of the problem you face in life will be solved. Okay, this is the physical education challenge. We have, since I have been intimated, time is short, I'll just click on 2 or 3 slides together. Now, here what we're doing is, the idea of this slide is, just like a physical education teachers are creative in nature, I just want to inform you that even the students, even the children are also very creative. So as a physical education, try to make sure that your creativity and it is important duty of yours to ensure that the creative parts of your students also have to be put into the picture. And this will help you in solving a lot of problem in the school's physical education program, plus it is going to give a lot of satisfaction to the teachers and to the students. And one more here, this slide is very important. Here we're going to talk about emoji. When will not goes on the game, but I'll just use this emoji. Whenever you look into your WhatsApp, the most common emoji you or anyone uses about the smile, right? Smile is the most common emoji everyone used to use. Now, when we talk about smile, I want to use this smile technique so that as a physical education teachers, I hope if you remember this word smile, it will help you throughout in your program. Your program will turn more effective. Now coming back to the words meaning of this one, S stands for safety. Whenever you take a physical education class or whenever you plan a physical education class, please make sure that there's safety is maintained. So there's enough safety precaution is taken. That is what S stands for. And second one, M stands for maximum participation. When we talk about maximum participation means if you have 30 or 40 students coming for your physical activity class, try to make sure that all the students are involved. Try to involve maximum number of students into your activities. And I stand for inclusiveness. Nowadays, usually what happens is your class will have varieties of qualities or conditions. Children will, even sometime, those who are differently able students also started coming to the school, right? And some will be fat, some will be thin, some will be slightly weaker. So make sure that your programs will involve, if you choose one activities, please do ensure that these people did not just always just sit at the side. Make sure that in some way or the other they are involved. This is what we mean by inclusiveness. And the next one, SMIL, L stands for learning. Every class, try to make sure that your student goes back with something positive, something valuable. It could be physical qualities, or it could be a skill related, or it could be emotion control, or it could be how to make friends, even communications skill also. Make sure that they goes back with something positive. And E stand for enjoyment. Enjoyment is make sure that your student, at least your class, they have enjoyed. Your enjoyment does not mean it is uncontrolled. It is also much possible to have a class, enjoy the class, but at the same time, in a disciplined manner. And last but not the least in SMILE, the last one is success. Let the student experience a certain level of success. Now today you design a game. There, obviously when it is a game, some will be losers and some will be winning. Even the winning teams or even the losing teams, make sure, keep it a point that at least in the next class, they'll have opportunity to experience this level of success. This is what the term SMILE means. And just to summarize, creativity in physical education and sports can be used. And one is right, it is time to go back to recording diary. Here it is written record daily. It is supposed to be diary, D-I-A-R-Y. It's supposed to be diary. And then finding the right moments to involve the staff and parents. And creativity in physical education is not only about the teacher, it is about getting the creativity of the children, parents, and staff also. And last but not the least, never forget to smile. Never forget to apply SMILE into your physical education programs. Thank you. Over to the moderator. Please.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a beautiful presentation. Now it's question hour. A few questions are there. Can you please answer this question, sir? Hello, Buhril sir, can you answer?
Yeah, please.
In this panel, even CS Sudhi sir is the assistant professor. Now I request him to take up few questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Patil sir. Patil, please mute your. Yes. Yeah, of course. Today we are discussing about a topic of utmost relevance. Why? Because in physical education, the standard in higher education institutions and in school is entirely different. When we talk about the status that the teachers get, that also differs from person to person. Now, at times it happens like that. The administrators and teachers, other teachers believe that it is the sole responsibility of the physical education teacher to look after the discipline matters in such a way that they are thought of as the sole person responsible for this discipline matters. They are expecting him to deal it alone. Sir, could you please suggest some creative measures to how to handle these indisciplined actions by students in a creative manner?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Why do you talk about physical education teachers just use as a disciplinary, or almost sometimes we call it just use as a security for this in the school setup? Yeah. To answer this question, let me put it this way. As a physical education teacher, sometime let us use this comparison. If a science teacher or even maths teachers can be allowed to concentrate on the welfare of the student, why physical education teachers are specifically used to control discipline in the school? Now, since fortunately this is children are not hearing, so let me frankly talk to the physical education teachers. Like we said, until unless you are able to establish your visibility, until unless you are able to prove yourself in the school setup, that you can contribute to the curriculum setup in a better way than just looking after discipline. Only when you start, because it is a whole concept, only when you are able to prove this one, then this concept, the whole concept of physical education teacher looking after discipline, this is going to change. The time will come, even once you can prove yourself as a physical education teachers that you can contribute very well to the social development, to the emotional development, to psychological development, physical development of the student. And once the administration realize, if discipline is to be controlled, I'm very sure, rest assured, they'll even call for, if it is required, a policeman or security to look after this security. So to some extent, partly, this is a wrong concept. Until unless we're willing as a physical education teachers, you and me, until unless we're willing to prove ourselves in our profession, this sort of, I'll not say discrimination, this sort of outlook by the school administration is going to continue. So let us put efforts to bring up the profession and do something good for the profession.
Yes, sir. As you rightly said, no. What I feel is we have to perceive it in another aspect. Like, no, we should not take it as a burden or something. Rather than we have to understand it like that. Physical education teachers are mostly the most influential teachers of the school. Now, administrators may be believing that now it may be like this. They can be controlled mostly by physical education teachers rather than any other teacher. And one more thing, if you want to improve your status, if you want to uplift your status from that of a mere caretaker to that of a physical education teacher in this literal manner, you have to showcase all your talents. Whatever things you have learned a number of things like sports sciences, training, everything, pedagogical aspects, everything. But what if you are unable to put up these things in front of your administrators, parents, teachers, and your students? So we have to, it is high time to think about that. So if you want to change your status, as we said, if you want to change the world, you have to be the first change from yourself. So hoping for a better future. Sir, we have a question from Jidesh Pramod, who is asking, now the present scenario, present world is like a 3G world, or else a techie world, where actually it is a virtual world. By now itself, we are sitting in some corner of the world and we are interacting and our business is going on right here. Likewise, even the child who is at a very young age, he starts to handle all these techie equipments. In our period, in the 90s, it was Parle-G which was dominating our childhood. Now it is PUBG which is dominating our childhood. Right. In this scenario, sir, could you please suggest some measures to draw the attention of the students or else pull out the students to the play fields and motivating or else persuading them to engage in physical activity? Sir, please suggest some creative measures to persuade these people to engage in physical activity. Please, sir.
Not a easy question, but there I'll share my opinion on this one. Where in the first part of the presentation also we discuss about this, what are the do's and don'ts for physical education teachers. And coming slightly in relation to that one, now you're asking when all this, our children become technologically crazy and their best friend is always mobile, how do we pull them back to the field? A very good question and very pertinent and relevant question. The only answer is we have to let them know that there's a substitution. There's a substitute for today's video games. Like, yeah, from mobile games, let us turn into a physically mobile, right? Let us become physically active. This could be one new slogan that can be seriously talked about, from mobile to mobile. Whereas mobile to mobile, it seems it's the same words, but entirely the first one we're talking about this technological mobile, whereas the second one we're talking about physical mobility. That is one. And like I always said, it is time we have to show examples. When if they are impressed upon the teacher, as physical education teachers, we cannot all control, we cannot have a full control on all the children, because there are so many teachers in the school campus. But when it comes to your activities, if you make your activity interesting, at least your physical education class, they will be enthusiastic, they'll be interested. I think that part, you can use your creativity. How to make your class attractive, it depends upon you. Or how to take them out from this mobile technology to the ground, that is it's so many people have to put efforts. And just like taking care of if your parents, a child, every time you spend at home, if you keep on sticking to your mobile, children will never have that guilty feeling, right? That they'll never have guilty feelings. But if you feel that activities, come on child, come on my boy, my girl, why don't you go up to the park and play together? If you have to take initiative, I think that is the only way, because eating something and playing mobile, that is very easy. And as a human being, we always go for the easy one. It is time to show example. And like I said, don't think that there's one solution to bring out all the children from mobile to the field. At least what you can contribute as a physical education teacher is try to make your class interesting. At least let them be excited to come and join your class. And if you ask me what is the creative solution, like we have been always taking creativity, the possible solution is always written. Just look back into one of the last second slide of idea. If you find that is the problem, look for the solution, analyze it, and I'm sure you all surely come up with some innovative ideas.
Yes, sir. As you rightly said, no, in this present scenario, taking out these techie gadgets out of the life of a child is a Herculean task, or rather, it is impossible. But then the only possible version is we can go for incorporating this technological advancement along with physical activity. Now, there is a recent advancement where we are having a lot of technological advancement in the field of physical education as well. Wherever we are talking about the equipments or else any sort of playstations, there is something known as exergame, where actually we are incorporating these gaming modalities along with exercising. You can see, as in case of a mall, whenever you are going to a mall, you can see there is some cycling station or else a dancing platform where the students will be dancing according to a music, or else a light shine, or else they will be pedaling a cycle where actually the light will be going up as the speed increases. Likewise, we can incorporate a lot of things where actually the physical education curriculum will be more fun and enjoyable. At the same time, it will be emphasizing on the fitness aspect as well. Thank you very much, sir. Now we are having one more question, which is actually what I feel is it is very pertinent to this situation, where the question is asked by Nina Tekken, and she asks mostly the education. Education is focusing on the wholesome development of a child. Of course, the aim of physical education as well is the same. But what happened? We are preaching a lot of things, but we are unable to put up these things into the practice. Sir, could you please suggest some practical measures whereby we can improve the wholesome development, or else we can achieve the wholesome development of a child through physical education, whereby you can just trust on what are the creative measures by which you can develop the child as a whole. Your suggestions, please, sir.
Sir, time is running up. Can you please give this answer in a minimum words, please?
Okay. To look at that question, that particular question, we always have to look first. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, audible. Sir.
We first always have to look what is wholesome. In physical education terms, we call, like, what is physical education? Physical education is the development of physical, mental, emotional, even spiritual. This is what we call wholesome development. Now, when we are talking about always preaching, and then unable to develop this to get a result in wholesome development, in the end, it always come back to, I'm sorry to tell, but it always come back to showing the right examples. Now, as a physical education teachers, how we are going to, let us look at this just two qualities of wholesome development. Now, one, I'll forget about spiritual. Let us look at physical development and emotional development, or what we call psychological development. Looking at first at physical development, as a physical education teachers, until unless you are able to prove that you yourself present yourself well, your health and your fitness, your health is good, then how you will be able to convince the other your children to the school children to be like you. So it all come back to us. So physical development is one. And second, emotional development, when you talk about, let's say, psychological development or emotional development, you study a lot in your college regarding sportsmanship, all this sportsmanship and others. But the biggest problem is when you come to a competitive situation, more than the student who are playing in the ground, often so many times I have seen it is the teachers who lose his cool, who lose his control, no emotional control. Until unless we look back what we can control it ourselves, convincing or influencing our kids, it is going to be very difficult. So in other words, if we really need to inculcate wholesome development in our children, it is time we look back, look at community service. Until unless you're willing to, let us talk about plowing, until unless you yourself is willing to clean the vicinity of your school campus, or you're hesitating to pick, how can a child learn how to pick dirt from you? Even if you keep on talking, it is no use. But suppose you just saw them, you just go and pick 1 liters or 1 plastic material, waste material, take it and put it in the right place. 1 or 2 children is bound to observe it. And this is how you saw example and how you to develop this wholesome development. I hope the question is answered.
Thank you, sir. It's a valuable expert opinion. So this still want to add some for this session, please.
Thank you, sir. As you rightly said, sir, actually, physical education or participation in sports is meant for development of wholesome development of the child. But at the same time, most times, parents or teachers or administrators, they don't feel like sending the children to physical activity participation or something. Why? Because what I personally feel is that now we are just being a we are just trying to be a watchdog of this discipline. More than that, we don't want to do something. So I recommend that the teacher, the physical education teacher who is responsible for the physical education classes, he can come out with a tailor-made physical education program where there will be fun and enjoyment at the same time, fitness development as well. So I request, I hope that this session will be of utmost benefit. And I thank Dr. Buhril sir for attending the same. And also thank Dr. Sawant sir for attending the same. Thank you. Over to you, Sanjeev sir.
Thank you, sir. Before conclusion, I request Sujit sir, do you like to add for this session? Hello.
Can you hear? Hello, can you hear? Hello, can you hear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I wanted to tell very briefly was that this session was one of the most important sessions for us. In the last 4 days and the sessions before, we had built the session. Everything was structure. So basically, we talked about the P structure for nursery up to class 12. Then we broke it down into nursery to 5th and 6 to 8 and 9 to 12. And so we actually told everyone that what are the typical elements that you need to have in the foundation years. Fundamental movement, we talked about fundamental sports skills, and then we talked about sports pursuit and sports specialization. But so today's session was basically to break from the monotony and talk about that those are standard things, but let us now think out of the box. let's think creative. Let's think in an innovative way that for every school setting, how do you make the experiences different from one school to the other? So the role of the PE teacher in making sure there is a participation of staff, then children. Children is very important in terms of generating new ideas, and also parents. So basically, here we talked about generation of ideas, and also simple examples like the games that we play inside, like a snake and ladder, or a Ludo that we play inside, or a Pac-Man, or even smileys that we use on mobile phone. Can we take them to the ground? So idea was to become creative, think innovatively, and so this session was a very important session from that point of view, where it was all about innovation and creativity. Thank you so much, Dr. Lamlun and also Dr. Sawant, in terms of putting that in a nice, simple way for people to think. So like Saroj madam had once talked about that we just need to give you competence. We are not giving you content. Some of these examples are just simple. This is not even 100% of what is available on the internet. Just look on the internet, you will find thousands and thousands of activities, but this is just to give you some idea. So this will help you to become a better PE teacher, to actually evolve from a PE teacher to become a trainer, coach, mentor, and also make sure that you are respected in the PE community. You are also respected within the school when you become very creative. When you start talking to your mathematics teacher, science teacher, language teacher, generate a lot of ideas from them. And I hope that some of the PE teachers will eventually become principals and headmasters of schools. And so I think if you are creative, if you have a good communication skill, all of us will succeed as a PE community. Yeah. One good thing is, like yesterday, Minister has mentioned that physical education will become a compulsory subject. So I think innovation and good communication will be very handy when we are looking at in terms of from becoming a PE teacher to becoming something else as this thing. So I think this is a very important session. Thank you so much, Sandeep sir.
Thank you, sir. From this session, we are able to carry a good creative mind, as well as we came to know that only creative thing is the only way to make our subject better, keep our subject in a better place than in a elective one. We can keep it in a core subject. So, going to conclude this one on behalf of Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, LNCPE, and on behalf of Dr. G. Kishore sir, Principal. Here I like to thank for both the resource persons for their expert opinions on this session. It was a wonderful session and informative, sir. I thank you for their valuable opinions.
Yeah, just this thing, there's a question which is coming on this thing. Is there any class tomorrow? Yes, there is class tomorrow. So it is a regular class, like 9:30, 11:30 and 2:30. So it was only in the first week because the speaker was from Australia. So last week we could not have our class because the speaker was from Australia. They are in terms of time zone, they were a little ahead of us, 5.5 6 hours. So the classes will be there tomorrow, the regular way. Yeah. Sorry, sir. Sanjeev, sir, please.
Once again, and the panelists who are there in this session, on behalf of our institution and on behalf of ministry, I thank you, all those panelists, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you today evening and tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.